Welcome back to Scared in the Name of Science, everyone. We are joined this month for another special with someone who should be slightly familiar to us all. I'm really excited to welcome back to the podcast, Livvy.
Hello, it's me, I'm back.
Your first episode with us was absolutely amazing on Green Ladies, so thank you so much for that, and thank you again for agreeing to come back for a second special episode featuring Scotland.
I know, thank you for having me again. I really enjoyed last episode, so I'm glad you did too.
Yes, and obviously that inspired me massively when we did Green and Glorious episode in season 2. Did you manage to have a listen? What were your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I thought there was lots of really nice moments with you and Al, and honestly, I really enjoyed the parasitic plant mention. I love plants being weird. I love it when they're weird.
I know, weird plants is fantastic. I mean, that's why the mushrooms episode was so good, because mushrooms are the weirdest plant out there, I think.
They're not a plant technically, I think, but yes.
Fair enough. You would know more on this than I do, being a biology expert.
I've suffered through too many taxonomy lectures, what can I say?
So, I'm going to hand over to you now for our Scottish special, this time all about fairies to match season 2. What have you got for us?
So, really quickly, I just want to apologise because finding sources for this that I could actually validate was a bit more difficult. Mm-hmm. But here's what I found. Here's what I got. On Monday, the 18th of November, 1929, a London-based occultist who had been writing a book on the remote Scottish island of Iona called Netta Fornario went missing.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. On Tuesday, the 19th of November, 1929, her body was found. She was found by some farmers that had sort of stumbled upon probably the weirdest thing they're going to find on a random Tuesday morning.
Yeah, I can't imagine a dead body is completely normal.
You'd be amazed. No, I'm kidding. So she was on top of something called the Fairy Hill, colloquially. The Gaelic name for it is along the lines of Shean Moor, I believe.
I'll believe you, because...
I'm going with Shean Moor. I have a friend that speaks some Gaelic, and she was like, yeah, that's close enough. And I was like, I'll take that. But yeah, that translates into Large Fairy Hill, so that's where they apparently hang out. It was so sensationalized by the newspapers, and they really picked up on the idea that she was this occultist and mystic figure, and she was known to be quite unusual in life. There was even an article implying a statue her dad got her of Osiris was cursed, and that maybe that's why she died. They don't mention anything about her actual death. They just mention that it was cursed, and they had an argument about it.
Breaking news, everybody. We've just found out since recording this that Netta actually sent a telepathic message to her dad on the day that she died, saying that something was really, really wrong. What's crazy about this is that her dad was based in Egypt, and he had no way of knowing that actually Netta had died on this day. He found out 2 days later that she was dead. Back to our scheduled episode now. That's wild. I will say, I kind of miss the days where if you're a little bit weird, you would be called an occultist. I kind of wish we'd kept that.
Maybe we can bring it back. Start the new trend.
But mind you, I kind of get them blaming her death on a statue, because wasn't the 1920s when the big tomb raiding was going on in Egypt with like Tutankhamun and stuff like that?
Oh, you're so right, because it's just 7 years after the discovery of Tutankhamun, and obviously very well known for a lot of the people involved dying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think even I'm sure one of the big deaths was in November 1929 as well, so I can kind of see why if there'd been a death recently linked to that curse of Tutankhamun, why the newspapers would be like, more evidence of the Egyptian curse, you know?
Oh my gosh, but this time it's a random statue of Osiris an Italian man bought.
And gave to his daughter, who's dead in Scotland.
Yep. Apparently she tried to turn it down, actually.
Really?
Yeah, she tried to turn it down because she said that Osiris was like a bad omen, presumably because he's associated with the afterlife. And he was like, no.
Should have gone for that gut feeling.
Clearly, all the statue's fault.
Yeah.
Because now she is dead on top of a hill, and it doesn't end there. These farmers Tuesday morning gets weirder. She's buck naked, bar from like a black cloak and apparently a silver crucifix.
Okay.
Yeah, choices. The only item apparently on her person was a knife. Wowie.
Again, a choice.
You know, ladies' night, taking the knife. She had scratches on her feet, which some people say means she might have been running around to keep warm, or one source mentioned that apparently running in circles 9 times can rouse the good folk, as they are.
I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
I don't know why 9 times. It never explained why that specifically, but
yeah.
And my mum also, like a psychopath, was saying she was running from someone, and I was like on an abandoned, near enough abandoned hillside, desolate area in the Scottish Highlands.
I mean, I can kind of understand that logically. Like, it sounds like she was out there, and then maybe, yeah, something spooked her. Maybe a sheep. Maybe a big cat.
You'd think an occultist would be fans of a cat.
Well, yeah, I mean, she did have a knife to protect herself with, so I don't know. That's really weird. Naked, covered in cuts on her feet, with a crucifix in one hand and a knife in the other.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was also apparently a cross carved into the earth near where she was found, presumably with the knife she had.
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one.
Mm.
She was found on, as I say, this fairy hill, which, fun fact, also has ties in Christianity.
Doesn't surprise me.
Well, yeah. Iona is a popular spot as a sort of pilgrimage point, or it's considered otherwise sacred in Christianity because Saint Columba apparently saw angels on the same hill.
Ooh.
It's either the Hill of Fae or it's the Hill of Angels, unless the angels were the Fae.
Maybe. I wonder then if, like, the transformation of the angels into the Fae was, like, part of the Reformation and stuff like that. Like, St. Columba saw something, and over time it's been re-explained depending on the context of the time, maybe?
Ooh, definitely. Like, you know how it is. History is sort of passed down and changed over time, and what exactly he could have seen, if anything at all, would have changed by the decade. And this was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's true.
On my hunt, I found an account from 1955 about how she died. Well, the night she died, really, and the way she was found, from Mr. Alistair Alpin McGregor, or as I have been... I know, right? Alliteration and everything. But yeah, I've been calling him Mr. 1955 this whole time. Just in my brain, this is him. Mr. 1955. But he had to say this. She had gone. Whither, no one knew. Neatly arranged in the room were her clothes and jewellery. As the hours wore on, they failed to find her. With the coming of dawn, the searches were out again. Not until the afternoon did Hector McLean of Slicknick and Hector McNiven of Moll Farm find her. She lay between the Machar and Lockstone Egg, in a hollow in the chilly moor. She was quite dead, just to be certain, quite dead, and except for a silver chain turned black, quite naked. One hand clutched a knife, the other lay between her head and the cold moor. She had died of exhaustion and exposure.
I do have to ask one tiny little question here, though. If she died in 1929 and he's writing this in 1955, where's his information coming from?
I had a lot of thoughts about that. Like, it seems very second or third hand.
Yeah.
Unless he knew Hector McLean and Hector McNiven, the fact they had the same name. Very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. Or, like, why wait this long as well? Because it was, as I say, it was really popular in the news. So when you want to capitalise on that...
Yeah, you'd think the account would be a little bit more like, I don't know, 1930 or 1931, not like sort of... almost 15 years later. Bizarre.
Exactly. No, I know. It first appeared in a book in 1955 by someone called Robert Hale. So it could have been maybe that he did say it earlier.
Maybe.
Or maybe he just took a really long time to say something that we kind of already knew about.
Weird there. Question mark, Mr. 1955.
Honestly. The other thing that caught my eye with that one is the silver chain had turned black, so it tarnished quite severely. There was another source that mentioned it happened to her quite a lot.
Oh!
Yeah, I don't know if that's maybe her...
As in, her jewellery turned black quite a lot on her?
Yeah, like her jewellery tarnished quite quickly on her.
Is that, like, a thing that happens?
I've never heard of it being something that you kind of notice with all of your jewellery, but it depends what she was wearing and her own sort of skin chemistry. Maybe it didn't agree with what she was wearing.
Maybe. I mean, that is weird. I've not heard of silver being a charm really used against fairies because it's supposed to be like moon blessed and fairies are like woohoo about the moon. I mean, that's weird though. Do you think it was like a demon and that's why she had a cross?
Ooh, that is a fresh take. I love that.
Ooh, interesting.
To hold on to that concept.
Okay, I'll lock it in there.
Mr. 1955 gives us those tidbits, and her death certificate gave us a time of death between 10 p.m. on the 17th and 1:30 on the 19th, which is not helpful.
No, that's a really big period of time.
That is a huge period of time. So it kind of hit me how isolated Iona was at this time. There was one ferry, and it was the only way to get to the mainland and back, and it ran 6 days a week. And it's a small population of people, so there's surely only so many doctors and stuff.
That's a weird situation.
Yeah. And it just, it gets even weirder when you think about what led her to dumping everything and moving from London to a tiny, relatively isolated island.
Tell me a bit more about her. Why was she there?
So she was there because she wanted to write a book about the Fae. Okay. I've also seen them called the Green Ray Elementals.
Okay.
Have you?
Very unique name.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that one before.
No, me neither.
Color green just keeps coming up.
Yeah, it definitely does.
But yeah, so she went to do that in the August of 1929. But her interest in the Fae went back quite a good way. Mm-hmm. So she was a part of a lot of different occultist sort of groups. The Community of Light, sort of Masonic societies in London. And one of her fellow spiritualists from the Community of Light mentioned her in a book against psychic attack, which I managed to get the quote for.
Ooh.
I knew Miss Fornario intimately, ? Squint. And at one time we did a good deal of work together, but some 3 years before her death, we went our separate ways and lost sight of each other. She was of unusual intellectual caliber, genuinely cannot tell if that is an insult or not.
That's such a fantastic term. I love it.
No, right? I can't even tell if she's saying she's really smart or really dumb. I love it. She was especially interested in the Green Ray elemental contacts. Too much interested in them for my peace of mind, and I became nervous and refused to cooperate with her.
Which, once again, kind of suggests that it's not a good energy or a good thing.
Yeah, like
this person, you said that she was like the head of the Community of Light?
Yes.
Yeah, which implies good things. So if someone who's like the head of the light side of all of this is like, yo, this is bad dealies, that suggests maybe this wasn't as good a creature or thing that she was trying to contact.
Definitely. Like, she goes on to say, one cannot expect to achieve anything worthwhile if one will not take risks, but it appeared to me that Mac, as we called her, was going into very deep waters even when I knew her, and there was certain to be trouble sooner or later. So it's really giving the idea of she was biting off more than she could chew.
Yeah, and well, I mean, I guess she was, in one way or another.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So this, when they stopped sort of working together, was the same year that Netta apparently had a vision of the Fae and claimed to have communicated with them.
Okay.
So it doesn't say that this is why they parted ways, but it sounds pretty cut and dry that she's had this sort of vision, and Dion of the Community of Light has gone, you are going too far for me.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like she had this vision which told her to do something, and Dion was like, no, bye. Like, you're on your own for this.
For real. And it's like a full-reaching obsession as well, that like she's had this vision in 1926. She visited an opera in 1914 called the Fairy Opera. She went to see it 23 times.
Wow, that is quite dedicated.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen anything 23 times, no matter how much I love it.
Yeah, me neither.
It's called The Immortal Hour, and it's based on work by one of her favourite authors. She submitted a review for it, which also gives me the impression that she thought the play was real, if that makes sense.
Okay, so she might have been a little bit away with the fairies, one might say.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Netta, but yeah. She sort of classified the audience into different groups. Students of mysticism and folklore able to understand the great truths concealed behind the gossamer curtain of fairy, which I guess included her.
Yeah.
A large number of people who think the play beautiful but sad, and many for whom the whole drama is so elusive and incomprehensible.
Wow.
And she goes on to describe people being hopelessly baffled by their inability to interpret the intricate symbolism employed.
So she definitely had opinions on accessibility of this area that she was obsessed with.
Yeah, like, she was seriously obsessed. She was a diehard fan.
Livvy.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, wow, okay, so right. So she went and saw this opera 23 times. She'd broken up with
the Community of Light and her sort of previous Masonic societies, yeah.
Yeah.
And after all of that, she's going to Iona to write a book about the Fae.
Is it a case where we believe she went to Iona because of this reputation it had as like a fairy island?
Yeah, it's very much steeped in folklore and considered a sort of sacred isle.
Okay.
Obviously, there's the fairy hill, and to be honest, it's also connected to other fairy stories. Like, so you've got the fairy flag in Dunvegan Castle.
Okay.
That's associated with the chieftains of like Clan, I think it's MacDougall or something like that.
Okay.
They have the flag, but their chieftains were given the quote-unquote privilege of being buried on the sacred Isle of Iona after getting this flag.
Oh, okay.
So it's really entrenched, that's the word, entrenched in this sort of mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And she apparently was asking the locals all the stories they had. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the stories. I would have loved to have known what they told her.
Yeah, it'd be great to know why she was like this place specifically.
Exactly, because as I say, the entirety of the Highlands is really rich in this sort of folklore. You've got the fairy pools in Skye that apparently can make you young forever. I know, right? Gotta pay those a visit. There's this Grey Mountain Man on, is it Ben Nevis, that is technically Fae adjacent. The Selkies, the Kelpies, the Knucklevies up in the... Yeah, there's loads, is my point.
Scotland is absolutely dripping with folklore and weird things.
Dripping was not in my vocabulary for that, but yes.
I don't know why dripping was the word that came out, but there we go. Anyway. Coming back to Netta, is her name?
Yes, Netta. But yeah, she's broken up with her occult buddies, she's communicated with the Fae, she has seen the Immortal Hour 23 times, and now she has gone up to Iona to write her book with, and I quote, plenty of luggage. So she was planning on staying there for a long time. She did write home to a companion of hers, the nature of the companionship I do not know, called Miss Varney, and told her she would be on the island for the foreseeable.
Right.
Which is really weird. And I know it doesn't sound weird because she's come here prepared to spend however long writing this book, but apparently on the Sunday, the day before she went missing and died, she woke up absolutely adamant that she had to leave.
No way.
Mm-hmm. She was absolutely set on getting the ferry and leaving immediately.
Breaking news. One of the reasons why Netta was so adamant to leave was because she felt she was being attacked telepathically. She also was having dreams about a rudderless boat flying across the sky and felt that this was a sign that she needed to leave. Back to you in the studio.
But the ferry wasn't running on a Sunday because it was a Sabbath.
Yeah, it's the holy day.
Yeah, so foiled by Christianity on that point. She apparently went to the docks to see for herself. She was like, I don't believe you. I'm going to see. I'm going to find the boat. And then there was obviously no ferry, so she had to come back. And they saw her. She locked herself in a room. She came out for a little bit for dinner, and then she disappeared Monday, found dead on the Tuesday.
Wait, she disappeared on the moon day? Wearing moon blessed silver?
She was mooning it up so big.
It's moon.
Moon. She's mooning on the moon day with her tarnished silver.
Do you think that... Well, hang on a second. Do you think she was trying to perform some kind of ritual? I wonder if there was some kind of planetary or mystical event happening on that date.
Yeah, like the astrology for that particular night.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if that was linked to it at all, because, like, why else would you go out into the dark nights on a random island naked, apart from a cloak and silver stuff?
Even if it was, like, a full moon or something, like, that would make some sense.
Yeah.
Because she was known for taking nocturnal walks, so her walking around at that time of night wasn't unusual in itself.
Breaking news. According to SkyLive.com, the 17th of November 1929 was a full moon, and not only that, was also a lunar eclipse. According to Netta's death certificate, this is the earliest date that she could have died, and this could potentially explain why she was out wandering in the middle of November. Back to you in the episode.
It was more the robe, knife, naked part.
Yeah, because, like, going for a little stroll or, like, a little drive when it's late, maybe you're feeling those creative things, maybe you're a little bit depressed. I get that. But naked?
Who does that? It's November in the northern part of the world.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
Even I am not that stupid, and I have literally dunked myself in the Arctic Ocean in nothing but a swimsuit, and even I am not that stupid.
See, I'm guessing during the day you did that, though.
Yes.
There we go.
Spring day. But yeah, and a final little sprinkling of weird. She was sort of boarding with people while she was on Iona, and she informed them not to call a doctor if anything happened to her before she died.
Okay, so now we're kind of getting involved with a little bit of like foresight here if she felt like something was going to happen.
Maybe there was brief mention that she might be worried about being institutionalized, but I
Okay.
couldn't find much about that. But this was
Mhm.
also the earliest 20th century, and their attitudes to mental health was not it.
Yeah, a woman could get institutionalized for, I don't know, being sad about something reasonable. Weird. That's really suspicious that she was like, if I go and die, don't call a doctor. Wait. No, that's weird.
Yeah, if I just keel over or something, just don't get me any help. Like that is really
Yeah.
weird. And then
I,
to
I do.
counterbalance that with how desperately she wanted to leave as well, when she wasn't wandering around and telling people not to get her doctors, she was going into trances
Oh,
and writing home saying she had a terrible healing case on.
what does that mean?
I have no idea. My theory was maybe she thought the Fae would be able to provide some sort of healing or stability for her.
Okay.
Maybe they summoned her. They were just when they gave her that vision, they were inviting her to their big green fae party up in Iona.
I mean, yeah, could be that she believes she made contact with something that gave her specific instructions, I guess.
I genuinely don't know, and I can't find any more information about the sort of context to when she said that. Just that she used that term in a letter home alongside the "I'm going to be here for the foreseeable." That's kind of the main sort of tidbits for it. That's kind of building the picture of the person she was and the events leading up to her being found in the hill. So I'm just going to ask what you think about it.
If I'm being really honest, it sounds like somebody who was having a struggle with like mental health,
Yeah.
like for a long time, even before she unfortunately died. It sounds like someone who was a little bit obsessive and then unfortunately maybe got into sort of like a delusion or had a bit of a breakdown or something like that. That to me honestly is what it sounds like. And maybe somebody took advantage of that or something. I don't know.
Maybe, especially with the sort of Masonic society, she might have found that sense of belonging, but they also would have really influenced
Yeah.
how she thought about the world and how she thought about magic as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And she seemed to place a lot of stock in the writings for the Immortal Hour. She read a lot of that author's works, and that kind of inspired her quite a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I have to agree. I'm with you, and I'm with Mr. 1955 on how she died on the hypothermia side of things rather than sudden fae-based murder.
Okay, so you think it was exposure, she just froze to death.
Yeah, I think because I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, it seems like someone struggling with mental health. We can kind of put the why on that part of things, but the why on a lot of the things at the scene, like why was she naked with the knife? Like where the sort of logic came to that. Like what did she go out with clothes on? Or did she just start naked?
That is an interesting question because, like, you'd think if she's lodging with somebody, they would have noticed her leaving naked. Because also, she would probably have taken the knife from wherever she was lodging. I can't imagine she would
Yeah.
travel with a kitchen knife.
Yeah, so like someone would have seen her take the knife from the kitchen, and instead of going, "Yo, Netta, are you okay? You know, you've had a bit of an erratic day. I know you were really wanting to go home, and you know you're naked. And what's with the knife? Should I call someone? I know you said
Yeah.
not to."
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. It's quite a shame.
It is, yeah. It's kind of sad. I will say, I know we keep circling back to the naked thing, but I
Is the
do
thing.
wonder if it's kind of a case of maybe paradoxical undressing as well, like the Dyatlov Pass situation. I don't know how much you know about that.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, so just for any listeners out there who don't know it, essentially a group of hikers went up to Dyatlov Pass, camped out, and then went missing. And then, like, their various bodies were found, and some of them were completely undressed, even though it was the middle of Russia and it was absolutely Baltic there, literally. But yeah, it's called paradoxical undressing, where you are so cold you start to feel like you're overheating and like you've got a fever, so you start taking clothes off, and it's your body just shutting down and being confused.
Yeah, that was a big mystery for a really long time, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it still is a mystery as far as I'm aware. I believe it's still unsolved.
I mean, that would definitely make sense for why she was naked.
Yeah.
But so we've got the sort of what led her to be out there. We've got the naked. What about the knife and the crucifix and the cross in the ground?
Yeah, that one is bizarre. That's weird.
Yeah, because I mean, from what I gather of Netta, she sort of rejected conventional religion for the most part, since obviously she was more interested in spiritualism and the Fae rather than being a church girl and go to church.
Yeah, so like if she rejected conventional religion of the time, why would she turn to a crucifix and a cross in the ground? That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. One of the articles I read suggested maybe in her final moment she saw something that scared her so much she tried to call upon something that she'd abandoned, which is a take.
Human?
Kind of wonder if someone added it.
Okay, you mean like afterwards?
Yeah, if they kind of spread the rumor, or if the farmers kind of took the story and ran with it a little bit.
Yeah, it could be that maybe they found the body, were so freaked out by her and what had been happening previous, like before she passed away, that maybe they freaked out and were like, cool, I'm going to put a cross here just to bless it so that like nothing horrible comes after me next. Because that sounds like a thing people would do.
Oh yeah, especially in like a rural religious sort of community.
This is such a bizarre case.
No, absolutely. It's just there's lots of little tidbits that sort of stack on top of each other. Like the more you look into it, the more you find.
Yeah. I wonder if there's anything up in Scotland on the island of Iona about this in more detail. I'd be really interested to sort of go up there and find out. Maybe I'll have to do that as part of the road trip.
That'd be great. That'd be a great visit.
I can't say too much more.
Teehee. All I know is the community clubbed together to pay for her funeral, and she is buried on Iona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you could visit her grave on Iona if you wanted to.
So, hang on though. So she was there visiting for like 3 months, but she made such an impact that these people felt so much for her that they potentially tried to ward her body against anything negative and then paid for her funeral. That's so sweet.
I know, it's such a sense of community as well. Like they've sort of welcomed her in even for that short time.
Yeah, and I'm surprised it wasn't something her parents or her family did unless she didn't have any.
From what I gather, her relationship with her dad was quite complicated.
Right.
So I think what happened is she was mostly raised by her grandparents.
Right.
And she kind of reconnected with her dad later.
Mm-hmm.
And her mum died when she was quite young.
Right. So there might not have been anyone around to do that.
And especially in such a, like, it would have been quite a way for her dad to go as well to, and I don't know if he could have afforded it, but it was very nice of them to do that.
Yeah, that is really, really sweet. And yeah, it makes me really, really want to go and visit now and see if I can find out anything more about her.
Ooh, oh my gosh, yes. I'd happily come with you for that. I love going up to the islands.
We'll put it into the diary.
I look forward to it.
So, I just want to say, Livvy, thank you so much for telling us all about Netta Fornario.
Fornario, see?
Yeah, this was a really interesting case that actually I've never heard of before, so thank you so much for sort of teaching me about this. I really want to look her up and find out more about her now.
No, absolutely, you're more welcome to. If you find anything you think I didn't, please let me know, because I want to know more as well.
Yeah, it feels like this random woman that I'm like ready to become obsessed with now.
Maybe not 23 times to the opera obsessed.
Yeah, no, I won't become that level of obsessed, and if anyone hears about me going off to a random island in the middle of nowhere, please call the doctor.
Yes. Let me get on the boat home.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Livvy. This has been a really, really interesting story to hear about, so thank you. If anyone has any theories or knows any more about Netta, please leave it in the comments below on Spotify or YouTube. Obviously, we're also available on Instagram and Reddit and Threads as well. And let us know what kind of things you guys want to see from us next. We've got a couple more specials to come, some I'm really excited for, and hopefully maybe a couple more things with you, Livvy, in the future as well.
Oh, I'd be more than happy to pop back.
Oh, well, thank you so much everyone for listening, and we will see you in the next special episode.
Ta-ta!